All right, I'm up. I like this background picture too.
Yeah, it's cool. That's the title screen art. All right, let's get rolling. Hey everybody, this is Kev, and this is the Big Red Ramble. I am fresh back from Eurogamer Expo, and I am here with PacManPolarBear.
What's going on, everybody? I will be the lively one, and Kev will be the one desperately trying to fend off sleep.
That's it, yeah. And also trying to survive in this weird game. So this is not actually out yet. It's going through Greenlight at the moment, or maybe I think it's actually passed through Greenlight and is gonna go on Steam. But it was designed in about 5 or 6 months by, I forget his name, but it's one of the guys that used to work at 2K Marin. They
I
made
believe so.
They made BioShock 2. More specifically, they made Minerva's Den, and I think this was like the lead designer of Minerva's Den. And for those in the know, Minerva's Den was critically acclaimed all over the shop. So when he came out with a roguelike that's a first-person game that looks like Minecraft and plays like Dishonored, I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to buy that.
Well, I mean, and you got the whole H.P. Lovecraft.
And yeah, the whole Lovecraftian thing. So yeah, let's get rolling into this. So yeah, it's a roguelike. As you can see, it looks kind of like Minecraft. I'm using a controller to control it at the moment, which isn't the best way to do it, but should be okay for our requirements. So yeah, the idea is you use these books to go into dungeons that are randomly generated, and you find items at the bottom of each dungeon which eventually get you into, where are we? This room over here. And then that'll get you into the final boss dungeon or whatever. I haven't gotten that far yet, because obviously it's a roguelike. When you die, you die. Everything is erased. Alright, so let's roll. It's worth noting that you can do things like mantle the top of surfaces by holding the jump button. You
Ah.
can sprint. You can sprint and go into a slide. You can sneak.
Oh, you can slide? I like that.
You can totally slide. You can sneak. And you can do the most important thing that is missing out of all first-person shooters nowadays, which is the jump duck. You can jump and duck and get into gaps.
You know what? You're so right. I do miss that feature in a lot of games, especially first-person shooters.
Yeah, it was like a Half-Life thing, right? Half-Life kind of came out with it.
Oh, and Dan 248X is awake as well. He's like, it's 3 a.m. here.
But I'm gonna watch this ramble. Yeah, this game is really, really fun.
I love the fact that the video games are so big now that no one, do you remember there was a time where like no one would play this? So like, look how old this game looks. The graphics aren't good, but now there's a whole segment that if you want to play these games, you can, and there's so many of them. Oh, what is that?
That was a little creepy tortoise thing. They're not especially dangerous now. Now I've finally found a weapon. 2 weapons, in fact. You can hold 2 weapons at a time. I quite like the knife. It's good. I'll just drop my thing there. The gun is useful as well, obviously, for ranged attacks. What you can do later on, I don't know if I'll find it while we're playing here today, but sometimes in the shop, in the random shops, you can find a thing called the Destruction Amulet, which turns your handgun into a level deforming weapon. So you can actually like blast blocks of level away using your gun.
Alrighty.
Which is awesome for like getting through. Let's say you want to get into a locked door. Why waste a key when you can just blow the wall out around it? Oh, actually, I found a shop here. There we go.
Are there different guns?
No, I think it's just a revolver. There's also keys you can pick up. I have 3 hit points at the moment. You can increase those throughout the game. What's this lucky charm do? When it's equipped, you will find more loot on enemy corpses. Looting corpses is actually a risk-reward thing, because you can kill a creature and not loot it, and it'll just stay there as a corpse. But if you do loot it, you get an item out of it usually, but it will respawn at some point. And there's a destruction amulet. I haven't got enough money to buy anything yet, and I'm not quite powerful enough to just kill the shopkeeper and nick all his stuff, so I'm going to come back here later maybe. Right now the idea is to basically run around looking for what they call treasures, which are the little blue circle things.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the idea with every level is to make your way down to the bottom and then go through the exit, and then you'll go into the next part of the dungeon. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was just gonna say Den248X is in the chat, and he's just saying, how great it is to see all these roguelikes.
It's amazing, right?
They're
I
just
love roguelikes.
they're all over the place. And the other thing he said is, H.P. Lovecraft is as much about the story and lore as it is straight up weird.
Absolutely.
I mean, Lovecraft is just really, really, really weird.
Yeah, and his entire works are free now, so you can literally go onto the Kindle store or whatever and just pick up every story he ever wrote for free. I advise anyone to do that if they've never read Lovecraft, because even if you don't read his entire collection, it's some crazy stuff.
Yep. I actually read the Marquis de Sade once when I was in university. Don't ever do that. I mean, it's so messed up it'll scar you. I actually kind of regret ever reading it. It's probably the only book I can say that about. Well, it's not even really a book. It's a collection.
Yeah. Oh, and now I've actually managed to find a special power. I don't know what power it is yet. I'm afraid of this statue.
Oh, so you get like powers?
Yeah, you can get special powers. So there's like a knock spell that you can get where you can just unlock doors using magic. There's one that like levitates you for a while. There's a cloak one where you can literally just cloak yourself to turn invisible for a temporary amount of time. This one here conjures a mystical barrier, which might be cool.
Ah.
You can also pick up like things to enhance your powers. Specifically, there's one I like where it costs, because every time you activate a power, it uses up artifacts. That's the currency for them. But they're also the currency for the game. So the less of them you can spend, the better. Because you want to keep them for power use and for spending on items. But there's one thing you can find that makes all powers cost like half the amount. Fucking roguelikes, man.
Yeah, well, there's. I love all the little extras that the different roguelikes get behind.
Yeah.
Like, what was the other one we were playing where you had Descendants?
That was Rogue Legacy.
Yeah.
Which will be coming out on PS3 or 4 or Vita, one of them. It's coming out on a PlayStation product.
Nice.
Oh, there's a fish man.
Kill the fishman! Kill the fishman!
Got him, and I looted him.
Ah, sliced.
The fishmen are fairly... These guys throw fireballs if you... Yep, they throw fireballs if you're not quick enough. Later on, you actually come across Cthulhus that are walking around.
Right on.
They are scary. I'm going to heal up this fountain. So that fountain just gave me an extra permanent point of life as well. Which is quite cool. Yeah, when someone basically comes up to you and says, look, how do you feel about a guy who made Minerva's Den? He's made a game that kind of combines Minecraft, a roguelike, and Dishonored. And I stress the Dishonored thing, because there's like powers and like free climbing of stuff. It's, yeah. It
is cool, and the best thing is this game, I can't imagine how much it's going to cost, but it can't be that much.
It cost me... How much did it cost me? About 15 quid, maybe? And you can get it right now on early access. If you get early access, you will... Or if you buy it now, rather, you will get instant access to the beta. It came out last week. The beta, I mean.
Oh, speaking of which, I've got to put some money down on Planetary Annihilation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's... You can now get into the beta.
Isn't that like £90 or something? Or super expensive on Steam?
It actually started at $120 or something for the alpha access and all these sort of... It came with a lot of extras, and then every month they dropped it in price, and now it's finally falling down to what the actual retail price is, which is $60.
I see.
But it's made by the guys who made Total Annihilation and Supreme Commander, and those two games are pretty much, in my top 3 best, most favorite RTS games of all time. And now it's like it's a lot of the stuff from those games. Only now you can go to other planets. You can put rockets on a moon and smash a moon into a planet. It's just like, yeah, that's cool.
That does sound cool.
But there's so many, like my Steam Greenlight list probably has about 70 games on it now. But I love going through, especially once Steam opened up the floodgates and allowed a whole bunch of new games to go into Greenlight. There's some really sick games in there. And there's a lot of copycat throwaway shit in there as well. Yeah. Maybe it'll pass, your first inspection, but if you sit down and look at it, you're like, yeah, this isn't going to go anywhere.
I'm going to try and sneak up on this guy.
I love these roguelikes, and I love people making, I don't know how to say it, but like Western JRPGs.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh, fuck. Alright,
I walk on the spikes.
Alright, so yeah, now you got to start all over again. I didn't even get to the end of the first floor, though.
And chat's asking if we're looking forward to X Rebirth. X Rebirth does look really good if they make the learning curve a lot more easy for new players.
X is a proper hard series to get into at this point.
They need good tutorials. They need a better, introduction to the controls. But everything I've seen of X Rebirth looks pretty friggin' awesome. It really does.
I worry about it simply because Star Citizen has got everyone's attention so hard at the moment.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Star Citizen and Star Citizen's going to have to be really great because the hype and the money behind it and everything is just so big. But X Rebirth could be great, and X Rebirth will probably come out before Star Citizen.
I'm well happy that these last 2 runs I've managed to find a compass straight away. The compass tells you where the exit in the level is, or it shows you in a little exit sign there.
Oh, that's what it was. I thought it was like a bathroom sign.
That's where the exit is, which you would ordinarily have to hunt around the level for if you don't have the compass. Oh, I need a knife. Oh, there's a power over here. What have we got this time? Teleport.
Nice.
Okay, this I've never had before.
Oh, there's Dempsey Forward X is saying in chat that he's watching a YouTube video where the guy was able to seem to be able to sneak through the spikes while crouching.
Oh. I might give that a go in a sec. I just found some dynamite. So here's one of the things I love about this game. So I'll get that back up again. You can use dynamite to quite literally, I mean there's a hole here anyway, but were there not a hole there, I could just go like that. And it just blows the flipping level apart.
Right on.
I'm not going to fall down.
Oh, look at that dude. He's just waiting for you to jump down there to the spikes and him.
He's going to be waiting for a while. I'm busy collecting my artifacts. Like all roguelikes, you don't really want to rush through the floors too quickly, otherwise you miss out on all the stuff to collect.
And this is
powerful when you come across Cthulhu.
This is just another game that I've got to get around to playing. I got so many arcade and indie games to play, like shit.
Oh, it's only going to get worse when the new consoles come as well.
Like I have to finish Gianna Sisters. I have to finish Mark of the Ninja. I have to. I never finished Bastion.
Oh really? I'd say Mark of the Ninja and Bastion are 2 of my favourite indie games of the last decade.
I just, I'm so, obsessive. Like if something catches my attention, I'm laser beamed on it until I burn out. Like I just finished burning out on Grand Theft Auto 5, and to clear my palate, I went back and started playing Age of Wonders.
Huh. Interesting choice.
Well, I just needed something as far away from GTA as I could get. So I'm like a turn-based fantasy meta world game. Yeah, let's play this.
Yeah.
And they're making a new Age of Wonders, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna either be a Kickstarter or one of those type of situations.
They all are nowadays. Do you know what I saw at Eurogamer Expo? I forgot to say about this on the podcast, but there's a bunch of guys who got together and made an iOS version of Transport Tycoon.
Really?
Yeah, they've remade Transport Tycoon, which hasn't been out since like late 80s, early 90s.
Have you seen the Sean Bean commercial for
Train Simulator.
For Train Simulator? Isn't that ridiculous?
I haven't actually watched it, but I've heard about it.
It's pretty great. But just Sean Bean is advertising like rails.
Yeah. I bet he is a train spotter. He strikes me as the type.
Paranautical Activity. Yeah, I've heard about that one as well. I'm reading it from the chat. The best thing is there's no longer really dry spells, because anytime there's a dry spell in AAA, there's always this backlog of arcade and indie games you can go to now.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be crazy when I have my PS3 still running and playing games, Xbox, and the new consoles, and then maybe a Steam box, and my PC. Like, it's just impossible to say there's no games to play anymore.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I'm going to have to build a new desk, though, just to...
Whole roll of consoles.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I'm going to have to get another power bar. Man, I hate setting up an entertainment system when you have tons and tons of stuff. Although I learned my lesson, I started using twist ties on my cords.
Ah, yeah, that's an important one. When you got as many stuff as you and I probably have, it's...
Well, yeah, I mean, my buddy
feature.
gave me a bag of rainbow, like, there's like 100 red, 100 blue, 100 pink, and I just color-coded everything, and it's made it a lot easier. Well, does he not take damage if he falls in the spikes?
No, I don't think so. I've just looted them as well, so I'm going to have to get out of it before they respawn. Well, I can hear footsteps. Grab some bullets here. So I guess we should talk about this on the ramble as well. I was just on the podcast telling Pac-Man and Dave about Titanfall.
Yes!
Which, I kid you not, is the most fun game I have played in a very long time.
It's actually kind of funny, because you guys gotta listen to the podcast, because Kev raved over this game. He was like, it was so good!
And I didn't think I'd feel that way. I honestly didn't. I thought it would just be another Call of Duty-ish shooter with some extra bits and bobs, but it really is the most fun to play. Were you ever into Call of Duty 4?
Yeah.
So you remember the first time you played Call of Duty 4 multiplayer and realised how much of the game they were changing?
Yeah.
Like, that's how it feels with Titanfall. It's like, you feel like you're witnessing the renaissance of a genre you love.
Wow, that's high praise, dude.
Yeah.
They're asking what game is this? We're talking about Titanfall.
Or are they asking what game is this?
Or what game is this? This is Eldritch.
You can go to eldritchgame.com. Eldritch is ELDRITCH?
I believe so, yes.
I think that's right. Eldritchgame.com is where you can have a look at it. I found out about it when the was Anthony Birch, who's the Gearbox writer and Hawk guy, Hey Ash, what you playing guy.
Love that show.
Yeah, he got early access to this a few weeks ago and live streamed a complete run through of it, which he managed to pull off. He got through to the end and finished it, and he actually had the guy who developed it in the chat watching him play. And he was taking beats from all of the... He was like, oh no, I can't find the X. He's like, oh, I should probably make them easier to find then.
Right on.
It was pretty fun to watch.
And everything, they're just being podcasters and writing for a website, talking about video games for our free time. Like, the next 8 months is just going to be, like, ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking a lot at Eurogamer about how the launch lineups for the new consoles aren't that good. Like the actual launch day lineups, I mean, in terms of exclusives at least. None of
Yeah, I
those
mean
games really
they
caught my eye.
both they've got like one. Everyone's got they got like 2 or 3 each. But some of the bigger games, like we were just saying, Titanfall. If Titanfall was a launch day title,
Oh yeah.
I think it would have a direct impact on Xbox sales because I want an Xbox One, but I'm getting a PS4 first because Titanfall doesn't come out until 2014, and by then I'll hopefully have saved up enough money to get my Xbox One.
Yeah.
But I mean, the other thing is what's that PS4 game, 1888 or whatever it is?
1866, I think. The Order. Is it
Yeah,
called?
the order. Like, we haven't seen diddly squat besides a cinematic trailer for that game, and that's a launch day title.
Oh no, it's not a launch day title.
Oh, it's not a launch day. That's why it sounds weird then.
No. The PS4's launch lineup is
Killzone.
Killzone, Drive Club, Knack, and Resogun. I
Yeah.
think that's the PS4 exclusives for launch. Which Resogun's really good. That's from the guys who made Super Stardust. And it's like the next evolution of whatever that was.
Well, I mean, I love me some Killzone. I mean,
Killzone plays a lot more like Call of Duty than it ever has. But it's still very much a Killzone game in terms of tone.
Well, yeah, I mean, the single player I will enjoy, but I always loved Killzone multiplayer because I still stand by this, at least in terms of the PS3 360. It had arguably, if not the best, then the second best map design of any of the first-person shooter. Like, it's just
for what, single player or multiplayer?
Multiplayer.
Right.
They're like the map, specifically the multiplayer map design in the expansion packs we got for Killzone 3 were ridiculous. They were so good. And it's almost a shame that the game isn't more popular just because those maps were so great. But I love this because like, it's not just like a dungeon with a whole bunch of like trick doors and backtracking. Like, this is actually a pretty big dungeon.
Oh yeah, it's huge, and this is just the first part. Like, this is what is. I've gone through a couple of floors here, but in terms of levels, this is still the first floor. I've got to go through a few of these before I get to the bottom of part 1, and then I've got another 2 parts to do. But I'm absolutely stuck as to where I'm supposed to be going. The map tells you where you've been, but not really where you're supposed to go. Oh god, there's a fish man there.
He's just staring you down.
What's up, fish man? I'm gonna come up here.
And I had a nightmare that I woke up within the dream and Trevor from GTA 5 was standing over me.
That's not a good nightmare.
No, man, that scared me bad. That scared me real bad. I'm actually a little bit traumatized by some of the stuff Trevor did in that game. I ain't gonna lie.
haven't even started it yet, obviously.
But I mean, it takes a lot to write a character and have him be disturbing and evil without being cliche or just relying on gore or swear words or something, right?
Right.
He's a the quintessential psychotic evil bad guy. Like, he's real. Like, I mean, it's the whole Breaking Bad thing, Like, yeah. He's a bad guy now. Man, I'm gonna have to avoid the internet for the next couple of days until I catch up on Breaking Bad, because I can't.
Wait.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have to, and if I look, basically, I'm afraid to even look on Twitter if I just see something just by accident.
Yeah, I know the feeling. We don't get it over in the UK until... It's actually been pretty good this season because Netflix has picked up a deal in the UK where they can air the episode live the day after it airs in the US.
Right on.
So on tomorrow we will get access to it on Netflix, which is obviously not happening on American Netflix because AMC's got it all tied down until the end of the season.
And I want the new Sherlock series to start up again.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And you know what? I the first season was pretty bleh, but most of the first season. But I'm actually kind of surprised that the American Sherlock Holmes TV show actually turned out to be okay.
Elementary?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. The first 6 episodes, what the fuck? But it actually ended up getting good, and the whole Moriarty being a chick, I dug that.
Yeah, I watched the pilot episode and didn't think much of it.
Well, it really seemed like it took them like 7 or 8 episodes to really have any sort of chemistry or connectivity or have any sort of storyline to care about.
Right.
Because it's just so deadpan, and you're just supposed to accept that, this is Sherlock and this is Watson and let's do this. And you're just like, yeah, it's not that easy.
Whereas the BBC show just, man, that was incredible from day one.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's just straight up the sheer power of how Cumberbatch plays Crazy Holmes.
Yeah. And the guy who plays Moriarty in the BBC one is absolutely stunning.
Yeah, man, that scene where they're talking beside the pool,
Yeah.
awesome sauce.
Yeah, there's some really good TV on at the moment, man.
All these bodies of the frog people.
I am completely lost. I have no idea where I'm supposed to be going. Oh, there's a little hole up there. Maybe there's something through there. Found a little cave. What was the power I had? I can't
Teleport?
remember. Was it teleport? Yep. Apparently so. I just teleported myself back to the start of the level.
Ridiculous.
Oh, but I've got enough money to go into the shop now. Conjurer's Talisman, Lucky Charm. Jump boots, they give you extra jump, which is pretty cool. I'll pick up the Conjurer's Talisman. I think that's the one, yeah, reduces the amount it costs to... Oh shit! I accidentally stole it.
Run, fight, shoot.
Oh, I killed the shopkeeper. I didn't mean to, but now I'm going to take all this stuff. Yeah, so you can only hold like one of these circular things at a time. So right now I've got to choose between whether I want the compass, which tells me where the exit is, whether I want the thing that halves my power cost, or the lucky charm, which gives me extra stuff off of looted corpses.
Compass seems more practical.
It is. I think I'll probably keep the compass. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Okay. I was hoping to find some dynamite in there so that I could just blow a hole through the floor somewhere.
Ha! Dynamite. That's all you really need. Can you imagine if people actually just committed crimes like that? Just, dynamite my way in, dynamite my way out.
That's it.
Dynamite's the ultimate counter. Oh shit, I'm being told I gotta jump off the computer here soon.
Alright, well, I think we've pretty much shown what this game is anyway, so... It's
Yeah,
awesome. It is awesome. I haven't really done a good job of displaying it right now because I got lost and teleported myself back to the start. But this game is absolutely great, and you can stealth run the whole thing. So
right
you can
on.
quite literally sneak around and sneak up behind people, and there are people that are doing YouTube videos of complete stealth runs, which is cool.
Of course there is. God bless YouTube sometimes.
Absolutely. Alright, so yeah, that is Eldritch. Go to eldritchgame.com to buy yourself early access if you want. Otherwise, it'll be out on Steam at some point.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah, so that is BigRedRamble for this week. Cheers, Batman.
Cheers, man. Catch y'all on the flip side.